Hello everyone, I'm Mickey Trowbridge and welcome to your practice. Today's movement is going to be a mindful movement flow. So enough movement, enough flow that you're getting out of your mind and down into your body, but slow enough that you're able to really mindfully connect with each and every shape and to start to feel those subtle sensations within the shapes. That was a lot of alliteration. To start into our practice today, we're going to dive right into downward facing dog. So when you're ready, let's find that down dog shape and maybe give yourself a little extra space today. So the hands might be a little wider, the feet might be a little wider. And I want you to begin tapping into what it is that you need here. So sometimes you get to your mat and you're immediately ready for some stillness. You get into the shape and you're just like, ooh, yeah, that's it. Sometimes you get here and you need to move a little bit, maybe wagging the tail or pedaling the feet. But whatever movement or stillness you take right now, let it be really intentional to start moving you into your practice. And within the shape of down dog, let's begin to breathe really fully. Let your breath come in through the nose and out through the nose. Whatever the rhythm of your day has been so far, start to be very intentional about the rhythm that you're creating right now through the tempo and the pace of your breath. Through the rhythm and the focus of your mind. And then if you took a slightly wider stance of hands and feet, start to bring those feet in to hip width. Maybe the hands start to come a little bit closer to shoulder width and index fingers parallel. And then as you breathe in here, let's start to move forward to your plank. And then hinging at your hips, exhale, pull back to downward facing dog. I'm going to do that a couple times. Inhale, plank pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. One more time. Inhaling to plank. And down dog. In this down dog, let's take a stroll of your hands all the way back to your feet. Feel that gentle and gradual shift of weight back into your legs. Depending on how your body is feeling today, you might put a soft bend into your knees here. And let's start by draping the spine over your legs. Let the spine drape, let the arms drape, let the head drape. And then bring your fingers to your shins. Let's slide those fingers up your shins as you inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, let yourself fold. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lift. As you take that half lift, let your shoulder blades glide down the back away from your ears. As you exhale and fold, try to keep the shoulders lifting away from your neck. One more time, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. As you find your fold here, let's bring the hands to the ground. We're going to start to wiggle the feet a little wider out, toes out, heels in. And we're going to start to bend your knees. So some of you will come just halfway down, like a half squat. I call it football coach. Some of you, if your body feels ready for it, let those hips drop. Let's come all the way down into a squat. And then as you exhale, let's take head down, hips high, and let yourself fold again. And let's go back and forth there a couple more times, inhaling into the squat. Exhaling into your forward fold. One more time. As you find your forward fold this time, bring those feet back to parallel. And we're going to very slowly begin to crawl your hands forward toward downward facing dog, but slow enough that you can continually re-invite weight back into your feet. So you take a hand forward and then shift that weight back. Take a hand forward, shift the weight back. So that even as you start to get toward that full expression of your downward facing dog, more than half of your weight is being held by your legs. When you find your full down dog, can take a complete breath in and a complete breath out. Inhale, let's come forward to plank. You choose if you want to lower to the belly with knees up or down. We'll come through chaturanga all the way down onto the belly. On the ground there, go ahead and untuck your toes, press into the tops of your feet. Inhale, baby cobra. Hands might be on the ground, or you might lift them and really feel that back body activation. And then exhale, back down. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, lower. 1 more time. Let's be really intentional about how your feet press into the ground. Back to the belly, back to the forehead. We'll tuck your toes under. You can either press up through table or plank. And back you go, downward facing dog. From this down dog, let's take your feet now forward toward your hands. Try to keep those legs straight as long as you can. When you need to bend the legs, let them bend. Inhale, halfway lift. You've been here, but now you're at the front of your mat. Slightly different scenery. And then exhale, bow forward. Let's bend your knees, sit up into your chair. You're in control of how deep or how low that chair is. Feel the weight evenly side to side across your 2 feet. A little extra weight in your heels, but toes are still interacting with the ground. And then slowly let those legs straighten. Big reach up to the sky. You might look up. Let those palms press together. And exhale, hands down into your heart. Full complete breath in here. Full complete breath out. Let's begin to move a little bit more. Inhale, hands reach up toward the sky. And exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift, inhale. As you exhale, wolf fold, step your left leg back. Back heel stays lifted. Let's reach your hands forward and all the way up, coming into your crescent pose. Taking a full breath here to get down into those legs, down into your feet. And then with your next exhale, we'll take your hands forward, get long and all the way down. Plant your hands flat, start to think plank. And then try to minimize the shenanigans as you lift that right knee into your chest, lift the foot, and step that right leg back into plank. Knees up or down, we'll exhale, chaturanga. Inhale into cobra, or if you feel ready for it, upward facing dog. And back you go, downward facing dog. With your next breath in, let's lift your left leg to the sky. As you exhale, we're going to bring your left knee to your left arm, shoulders over wrists, round your spine. And then inhale, up and back. Exhale, left foot outside your left hand. Full breath here. Get long, let those hips drop as you press back through the right heel. Right quad resists toward the sky. And then let's start to rock a little forward and back on your feet. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to step that right foot outside your right hand. Toes slightly out, heels slightly in. We'll bend your knees down to that half squat or full squat. Wherever you're at, feel the belly fill as you breathe in. Feel the belly hollow and empty as you breathe out. You have a couple more rounds of breath here. You can stay where you're at and just feel that kind of exaggeration, that expression of the breath. If you want to bring your hands to your mat, knees to the back of the arms, and you feel ready for a crow pose, look slightly forward, round your spine, and one or both feet come up off the mat. When you're ready, we'll bring feet back down to the floor. From your squat, let's stand all the way up, nice and slow. 2 hands to the sky. And then hands come down into your heart. We'll take a full breath here. Bring those feet back to parallel. And then inhale, hands go up toward the ceiling. And exhale, let's fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Your right leg will step back first this time. We'll come on up into that crescent lunge, reaching forward and up. Settling for a full breath to notice what there is to notice. And then with your next exhale, we'll reach way, 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 way forward and let those hands come flat around your front foot. Start to think plank in that whole right side of your body. And if you can, glue that left knee into your heart, lift the foot up into the belly, and step it back into plank. We'll lower through chaturanga with your exhale. Modify as you need to. Inhale into cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. When you're ready, we'll inhale right foot to the sky. Exhale, right knee, right arm. Take the entire exhale to get there, and then the entire inhale to lengthen that right leg up and back. As you exhale, we'll step right foot outside, right hand. Let the hips drop as that left quad resists toward the sky. Active lizard here. Start to feel that sway forward and back. And then one of these times you sway forward, left foot outside your left hand. Toes pointed out, heels pointed in. We'll bend your knees half squat or full squat. If you're in half squat, elbows could come to thighs. If you're in full squat, hands can come to heart. And again, you've got a few breaths here just to feel that fullness of your breath, to feel the sensations that exist in the shape for you today. Staying in squat or planting your hands and coming up into your crow. When you're ready, we'll let those feet come back down to the ground. From your squat, we'll rise nice and slow all the way up to standing. Allowing your hands to reach up toward the sky as you get up there. And then palms together and hands to your heart. Let those feet turn back to parallel. Take a moment to connect with the way that the feet are supporting you. And then let's shift into that right foot and let your left knee come on up toward your heart. Let's take your hands back behind you, clasping either thumbs or all of the fingers, knuckles toward the ground, heart toward the sky, shoulders back, but front ribs soft into the body. We're going to start to tip your heart forward, take your left leg back. We're just going to fly through your warrior three, start to bend that right knee, reach that left leg back, 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 back. Let that back heel come to the ground as that foot lands, and we'll settle into your warrior one with your clasp. Let the heart lift, shoulders back. Stay here if you'd like, or root into that back foot and begin to bow forward toward your humble warrior. Keep that right outer hip hugging and firming in and back. Keep the weight shifting into that back foot. And then we're going to rise up. Take your hands in this clasp over into your right waist. Elbows will bend. If that doesn't work for you, left arm is in the small of the back, grabbing your right bicep. And we're going to open your legs for warrior two with that clasp in your right waist. Elbows hug back. And then let's lean back into that reverse warrior. If this doesn't feel good for you, again, either you can have left hand grabbing right bicep, or you can take the more traditional reverse. Keep that front knee pointing straight forward. And then let's leave your left arm in the small of the back. Take that right hand up to the sky. And then start to lean forward into that extended side angle. Right hand reaching way forward and then coming to the ground inside your right foot. You've got that half bind in your side angle. We're here for a couple breaths. If you would like to add the full bind, you can. If you would rather take a more open version of the arms, just listen to what your breath, your shoulders, your body needs today. And then keeping the bend that you've established in that front leg, release whatever bind you have. Let's come up into warrior two. Hands come down around that front foot, back heel lifts. And let's wiggle your right foot out, bring your right hand in, and find that really active lizard pose. Hands are flat if you can. They can be on blocks if that's best. Option to stay here for a couple breaths. Option to begin pressing that right knee into your outer right arm and float that right foot off the ground. Option to stay there, option to bend the elbows, think chaturanga. Maybe that left foot lifts off the ground, maybe your right leg straightens. Ekapada Kundanyasana 2. And then however it works from you, wherever you're at, make your way back through your vinyasa. And we'll meet up in downward facing dog. Steady out the breath. And then inhale, bend your knees, lift your heels, look forward. And exhale, walk, step, or hop. Top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Let's do that one more time, halfway lift. Strong legs, strong belly. Hands sneak to your hips, elbows hug back. And let's bring yourself up to standing. Release your hands, palms forward, thumbs out. Let your eyeballs get steady. Start to feel the way the feet connect with the ground once again. And then shift over into that left foot. Right knee comes up. Hands pull behind you into that clasp, opposite thumb on top. Use that clasp to activate the upper back to create space in the front of the shoulder. And we'll start to take your heart forward, right leg back. It's a little drive-by warrior 3. Bend that left knee. Reach way back through that right foot. As the foot finds the ground, let the heel come to the floor. Warrior 1. Little bit of a back bend at the top there. Stay here if you'd like, or root into that back foot. Begin to bow forward toward that left leg. Humble warrior, let those arms fall any amount. We'll inhale and rise up. Keep the clasp. We're going to sneak that clasp now into your left waist. Elbows pull toward each other. Again, if that's not working, release the clasp. Right arm in the small of the back, holding your left bicep. And then we'll open your legs into that warrior two stance. Front knee, front toe still pointing forward. And we'll start to reverse. You have your options if you need to do something a little bit different in your arms to make this feel like the pose that you need today. We'll start to release that left hand up toward the sky. And then begin to tip your torso way forward. Left hand reaches way, 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 way forward and all the way down to your side angle. If the half bind is not your favorite, feel free to release that arm to the sky. If you would rather add in that full bind, you've got a few breaths here. And then keep the bend that you've established in that front leg, but release any bind that you have. Come up, warrior two. We'll exhale your two hands around that front foot, let the back heel lift. We'll wiggle the left foot out as you bring your left hand in and set up for that really active lizard. This might be the place you stay. Maybe you start to press the left knee into the outer arm, float that foot up off the ground. Stay there, or think chaturanga in your arms. Maybe lift that back leg, maybe straighten the left leg. And then from wherever you're at, take it back through your vinyasa. And we'll meet up in downward facing dog. 5 steady breaths. Here, right here. When you're ready, let's lift that right leg to the sky. Exhale, right foot forward between your hands. Let's reach forward and all the way up into your crescent lunge. And then step up into that right foot, bring your left knee in to your chest. Find your inner steadiness even if the body feels a little shaky. And then we're going to bring your right hand to your right hip. Left hand's coming down to either left knee, left ankle, or peace fingers on that left big toe. If the Utthita Hasta Pada 2, Padangusthasana 2 version is not great for you, tree pose is an alternative here. If you have that left ankle or left big toe, start with the knee bent, stand tall. And then maybe some of you straighten the left leg out on the diagonal. Right hand can go to the sky if that feels good. And then let's start to rebend that left leg. Start to bend your standing leg. Let's cross that left leg all the way over the right eagle legs. Arms come forward, palms face up. With left leg on top, let's go left arm on bottom for the hug or the wrap. Steady breath. Let's begin to lower those elbows down toward the knees. Create length up your spine as you unwrap that left leg. Shoot it back. Let that right leg straighten any amount. Stay here or begin to take your head and your fingers down toward the ground, left foot toward the sky, toward that standing split. And then unravel your hands. Let the hands come down. Let that left foot lower. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands. You can step to plank or jump to chaturanga. Roll through your vinyasa, and we'll meet up in downward facing dog. Left leg lifts when you're ready. Step the foot through between your hands. Reach way forward and all the way up, crescent lunge. And then right knee comes up into your chest when you're ready. Find that internal steadiness here. And then try to maintain that steadiness regardless of what happens in your body. Let's go left hand, left hip, right hand on right knee, ankle, or peace fingers on big toe. Tree pose is the alternative here if that's a better balance option for you. You can keep the leg bent and stand tall, or begin to play with taking that right leg out to straight on the diagonal. We're going to start to bend that right leg. Eagle legs are next. Left leg bends. Cross that right leg over. Arms go in front of you, palms up. Right arm on bottom. Bend those elbows. Hug or eagle arms. If you step out, just find your breath and come back in. We're going to start to take your elbows down any amount toward those knees. Length from pelvis to crown of head. As you start to unwrap that right leg, fly it back. Left leg straightens any amount. You can stay in warrior 3 or begin to play with tipping towards standing splits. Sometimes you wobble and fall out. And then wherever you're at, release your 2 hands down to the ground. Release that right foot to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plank or chaturanga. Final vinyasa. From your down dog, let's lower knees to the ground. Replace your hands with your elbows. Let's go hands and elbows shoulder width, palms face down or pinky edges down. Tuck those toes under, hips to the sky, dolphin pose. Let the head hang. Elbows pressing into the ground, creating space between the shoulders and the ears, between the head and the floor. If you're feeling pretty tight in the hamstrings today, feet wide, little bend in the knees. We're going to be here for several more breaths. If you're feeling fatigued today, child's pose. If you're happy here, stay. If you're feeling like you want to get upside down, maybe you go to a wall, maybe you stay here and find your way up. Wherever you're at, tapping into those subtle sensations within the shapes. When you're ready, we will all meet up in child's pose, knees wide, big toes together, forehead to the mat, or hands stacked beneath your forehead, letting the head and the neck take rest. From here, let's crawl on out to your belly. Elbows below your shoulders once again. Let's settle for Sphinx. Legs are active. Belly is supportive. Crown of head lengthening, shoulders melting down and back. Option to stay here. Option to move one or both hands in tandem. So you'll eventually do both, but it can happen one at a time or two at a time back to Cobra. From Cobra, let's fly your feet. So you've got half Cobra, half Locust. Maybe the hands lift and reach back. And then let's hit rewind there. Hands come back to Cobra. Feet return to the ground. And then let's slide those arms back into Sphinx. We're going to let those elbows go wide. Goalpost arms, elbows in line with shoulders, palms face down. Let your left cheek come to the ground. And then pick your head up. Turn the other cheek, right cheek down. And then back to center. Hands by your sides. Let's press up, hands and knees. Coming up through table. And let's come to seated. Let's take your legs out in front of you. Press forward through the heels as you pull back through your toes. Hands can come beside you in a little kind of tented shape. And then let's go ahead and bend that right knee, foot to the floor. You can stay here or you can cross that right leg over. You can stay here or you can wrap that bottom leg. Let's take your left hand up to the sky. Get lots of length all the way up that left side of the body. And then we're going to bend that left elbow, bring it around your right knee, right hand back behind you. Wherever your gaze settles, let the neck feel elongated evenly on all four sides. And just feel your air moving in and out of your nostrils, out of your nose. See if you can have a sense that the air is even between the left and the right nostril as it comes in and as it goes out. And then let's go ahead and untwist. Let those hands come back out to that little tented shape. Legs come out in front of you, heels forward, toes back. And let's do that other side. Left leg bends. Option 1, foot stays on the left side. Option 2, foot crosses over. Option 3, bottom leg wraps. We'll take right hand up to the sky. And when you've added all the length that you can, right elbow around left knee, left hand back behind you for your twist. Again, placing the head and the gaze where the neck feels elongated. Let's feel that balance of breath left and right. Now perhaps taking that awareness a little deeper. So from nose down to the lungs. And feeling like the capacity, the volume of air that you're pulling in and out in the left and the right lung is even, is balanced. And then let's go ahead and untwist. One more time. Take those two legs out in front of you, hands out into that little tented shape. Option to stay upright, option to walk your body forward over those legs. Maybe you grab the feet, maybe the hands just settle on the floor. Taking a couple deep breaths into that backside of your body here. And let's ease ourselves up and begin to move yourself either onto your backs for Shavasana or maybe into a seat for some seated meditation or breath work. I recommend that you stay in that meditation or that relaxation for 3 to 5 minutes if you have time today. But this is where I will leave you. Thank you so much for practicing together. Namaste.